What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. I am your host, Kevin Brumley, and I am joined by John, who does not have a camera, so he's rocking the Buccaneer symbol. John, how you doing?
Good, man. I can't figure out what's wrong with this thing, so we're just going to go with this from now on. Stay a little anonymous.
It works, man. It all works. Tampa Bay, man, you guys are on the up and up. You just got the greatest quarterback of all time. So drop your season predictions in the comments. Don't be scared. Do it. Click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let's get to the breakdown of the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? When we talk about additions, easily the biggest thing that happened. So we're talking about additions and re-signings. Is they re-signed Blaine Gabbert. I mean, huge move, bold, in your face. Also, in less important news, they signed Tom Brady, Joe Haig, Shady McCoy, Kevin Minter, JPP, Ryan Smith, Ndamukong Suh, and they tagged Barrett. But, you know, like I said, biggest news, Blaine Gabbert. He's back. How do you feel about the additions?
I mean, obviously, when you're getting Tom Brady, you have to feel pretty good about these additions. Gronk, I mean, let's hope he can return back to, even if it's a shadow of what Gronk was, he's still better than, probably 90% of the tight ends, if he's even like 50%. I mean, he's just an animal out there. So, I mean, I think their team was turning around last year, obviously, and I definitely think with this additions, it should help even more. And, I think they're putting themselves, like, in the right position.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't even mention Gronk. I mean, that's another big one to pair him with OJ. And when we talk about departures, Jameis Winston, Peyton Barber, Perryman, DeMar Dotson, and Carl Nassib. They lost some guys. Obviously, Brady over Winston. Peyton Barber, not a huge loss. They end up replacing him with the draft. Perryman, I mean, he's their third receiver, not a huge one. Dotson does hurt the offensive line. Nassib could rush the quarterback. So all in all, they didn't lose a ton. They definitely got more than they lost. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. It's actually so – I feel like this is, I guess, fantasy-wise, but I always talk myself into drafting Brashard Perriman, like, real late in leagues. I don't know why. Every year. So I'm glad that he's – because now that he's on the Jets, I won't do it. But if he was on Tampa Bay, I would 1,000% do it.
I love it. And when we talk about the draft, they got a bookend tackle with Tristan Wirfs. They got Winfield Sr. and Keyshawn Vaughn. I love the Winfield draft pick. I think he's going to be great in that back end of the defense. Actually, I kind of thought he slipped more than what I initially anticipated. Keyshawn Vaughn, I mean, I like him. I think Ronald Jones is better than most people. I get that. I posted a piece on Yards Per Fantasy about Ronald Jones and got absolutely annihilated for it. But I like Rojo. And like I said, shoring up that offensive line always helps. How do you feel about their draft?
I like it. I actually I really like the Tyler Johnson pick, especially pairing him with Tom Brady. Give him a guy that like that and pair him with Godwin and Evans. I don't know. I just feel like their offense is getting better and better, and then you put Brady back there. It's seemed like it might be on the money.
No, and I'm with you. You know, you have to like that offense, right? And when I talk about roster, thoughts, what my breakdown is of just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster as a whole, the offense obviously has a ton of firepower, like too much firepower almost. I'm not 100% sold on the offensive line. We have to see them gel, work together a little bit. But I think that's a matter of just them. They'll get better as the season goes on. The front seven on the defense is really, really good. The back end, I'm just not sure of. They have some guys that are unproven or maybe haven't had the best careers thus far. So the back end's a little bit shaky, which if the offense puts up a lot of points, that back end of the defense is going to have some pressure put on them. So I think as a roster, that's probably their biggest weakness. How about you?
What did you say again? I'm sorry. I kind of zoned out there for a second. I'm not going to lie.
So for roster thoughts, I think they have a ton of offensive firepower. I'm not 100% sold on the offensive line. The front seven's great on the defense, but as far as the back end, I think it's a little shaky.
I would agree with you. Like, to me, the biggest question, I guess, would just be running back, just because I'm not as high as you on – I don't think, like, Rojo's, like, some terrible running back. I just don't think I mean, I don't think he's in like the top 20 probably of starting running backs. So I think it's hard to just know what you're getting from that. And that would be the biggest question mark for me on this roster.
And I get that. I guess my counterpoint would be I don't think oh my goodness, Sony Michel is that good. And I think
Fair.
Rojo's a little better of a receiving back. He's not, Alvin Kamara by any means, but
Yeah, and
he catches the ball a little better. He catches the
yeah.
ball a little better, and I think he's an adequate runner, kind of like Sony Michel. Tom Brady helps everybody be better.
Yeah, and he did take a step forward from his like rookie year to last year. So if he does take another step forward with a better offense, could definitely see better production from him. So I mean, you're definitely right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And as far as questions for me on the Buccaneers is, can Tom Brady still win shootouts? Because he no longer has that New England defense with him. The defense isn't horrendous in Tampa Bay, but the first half of the season, New England's defense looked like one of the greatest defenses ever. So some of these games they're going to have to win in the 30s, maybe even 40s. Tom Brady getting up there in years, is he going to still be able to win those shootouts? And that's something we'll have to see. TB12. We'll see how far that diet and workout program takes them. Now, how do you feel the Buccaneers stack up in the NFC South?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why they couldn't compete with the Saints for the NFC South title. To me, it's – oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was just going to say, to me, it's really like a two-dog race between the two.
And I'm with you. I see the exact same thing. I think they're second in the division right now because they're unproven as a team with them all together. But the upsides, I'm not even going to talk about it. It's clear. It's in your face. It's blatant. What is your prediction for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this coming season?
Yeah, so I looked at their win-loss first, and I had them at 11-5, and then when I did the Saints, I had 11-5 as well. So I looked back and adjusted. I saw I bumped it down to 10-6, just because I was like, I do think the Saints will win it as well, and win the titles, or not the title, but the division. And so I was like, I guess I'll bump the Buccaneers down one win. So I went 10-6.
I also went 10-6, just for the simple fact that, a lot of new pieces with that. Like when you're bringing in a new quarterback, even though he's the greatest to ever play the game, it's just going to take a little bit to gel, and they might drop a few games early in the season. I'm not worried about it. They'll figure it out, and they'll take care of it. Do you have any parting shots for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yeah, let me think of one right quick. So the craziest thing to me is the fact that Jameis threw so many interceptions last year, and they aren't even in the bottom 8 of turnovers of the differential last year. So I don't know if their defense is just crazy good at takeaways or what it is. But if they were taking care of the ball that well, and Tom Brady's coming in and he obviously takes care of the ball really well, I could see that flipping real quick, and that would definitely flip a lot of game scripts and obviously help them out. So not that really of a hot take, but it is what it is. I think Evans will finish over Godwin for fantasy this year.
I like that. That's an interesting one because Arians just came out and they talked about running Evans a little bit more in the short and intermediate passing games. He said he's a long strider and he's not worried about it. Let Evans be Evans. So I always like Mike Evans. I always kind of think he's underrated, even though he's rated super highly. I think his skill wise, people kind of sleep on him, how talented he is. My parting shot. So this is an interesting one. I kind of looked at the schedule. So the first 5 games of the Buccaneer season is against the Saints, Panthers, Broncos, Chargers, and Bears. And my kind of hot take is after week 5's over, I think people are going to be talking about it was a mistake to bring Tom Brady over. The team's too old. Maybe somebody in the front office says they regret bringing Brady over because besides the Panthers, there's some good defenses. I think the Chargers defense is going to be a lot better with the not addition, but Derwin James is now healthy. The Bears, we know their defense. Denver has 2 great rushers. Saints are really solid on that defensive line and just overall. But, I think it's just like that thing. It's going to be on SportsCenter and ESPN, but it's not going to be really that important. Everybody who actually watches the game and studies the game is going to know it's not a big deal. So if they start off the season even 2-3 or something like that, 3-2. It's fine. The Buccaneers will right the ship, no pun intended, and they'll be all right. So it's not a big deal. But that's kind of my parting shot. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did enjoy it, click like, click subscribe. Don't miss the rest of our NFC South breakdown. And plus, we've done the entire AFC and the NFC East. So check it out, guys. Like I said, like, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and we will see you guys next time.